Imagine waking up tomorrow, walking into the grocery store, and realizing that the exact same basket of food you bought last year suddenly costs 10% more. Or picture your grandparents saying things like, "Back in my day, a hamburger cost 50 cents. Why does money seem to lose its strength year after year? Have you ever stopped to wonder, why does the same $100 buy less as time goes by? Where does that value disappear to? And is there truly a way to escape this silent theft? Today, we are going to uncover one of the most frustrating realities of modern life: why your money loses value every single year, and what is really happening behind the scenes. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand what inflation actually is and why it occurs. Who gains when money loses its value? The role of governments, central banks, and even individuals like you in this cycle. Real examples from history, from the Weimar Republic to present-day Argentina, and how they compare to the United States today. Finally, what ordinary people can do to protect themselves. Do not worry, everything will be explained in clear, simple language. No unnecessary technical terms, no boring economic lectures. Only straightforward stories and analogies that will make sense to you. Section 1. What is inflation, really? Think of inflation like a balloon. Every time more air is pumped inside, the balloon grows larger, but the air inside becomes thinner. Similarly, every time new money is created, the value of the money already in your pocket becomes weaker. That is why $1 in the year 1950 could buy you a movie ticket, while today you would need around $15 for the same ticket. Here is a simple analogy. Imagine a classroom where a teacher gives each student one piece of candy. Then, suddenly, she prints 100 more candies and distributes them randomly. Each candy no longer feels as special. The more candies in the room, the less each one is worth. But the real question is, why do governments and banks keep pumping more candies, or in this case, dollars, into the system? That leads us to the next section. Section 2. Why does money lose value? The short answer: because the system is designed that way. Governments survive on debt. When they spend more money than they collect in taxes, they borrow. And the easiest way to manage that debt is to create more money. But printing money comes with a hidden cost: inflation. Think about it. If the government owes $1 trillion and inflation slowly eats away at the value of money, then paying that debt back becomes easier. It is like owing your friend 10 pizzas, but over time, the pizzas become smaller and smaller. History shows us extreme examples. In Zimbabwe during the 2000s, the government printed so much money that people needed wheelbarrows of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. In Argentina today, inflation is so severe that prices change almost every week. But before you believe the United States is safe, remember this. A dollar in 1980 had the same purchasing power as $3.60 today. So the big question becomes, who actually benefits from this hidden system? Section 3. Who wins when money loses value? Here is the uncomfortable truth. Inflation harms ordinary people the most, and benefits those in positions of power. If you are a worker saving money in a bank account, inflation slowly robs you. The $1,000 you carefully set aside last year might only buy $950 worth of goods today. But if you are a government drowning in debt, inflation becomes your best ally. The trillions you owe suddenly cost less to repay because the money itself has lost value. And if you are wealthy, inflation can actually make you richer. Why? Because instead of holding cash, you own assets such as real estate, stocks, or even art, things that rise in price as money weakens. Here is a striking example. During the 1970s in the United States, inflation was soaring. Grocery bills hurt, yes, but homeowners saw their property values double in just a few years. That is why inflation works like a hidden tax. But unlike a normal tax, it is never debated in Congress. It just quietly drains wealth from the many and transfers it to the few. So if the rich and governments win, what happens to everyone else? Section 4. The real impact on everyday life. Let us bring this down to your daily routine. You walk into the grocery store, eggs, milk, bread, all more expensive than the year before. You try to save for a house, but while you work and save, home prices climb even faster. You finally get a raise at work, but inflation erases it before you can even feel it. It is like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. No matter how hard you try, you stay in the same place. Or worse, you fall behind. This is not just numbers on a chart. It explains why younger generations feel stuck, why middle-class families struggle to get ahead, and why retirees fear outliving their savings. And here is the subtle danger. Inflation does not always look extreme. Sometimes it is just 2 or 3% each year. But stretched across 30 years, that slowly cuts your purchasing power in half. So, the question becomes, what can you actually do about it? Section 5. What can you do to protect yourself? Now comes the part you have been waiting for. Solutions. First, accept this reality. Inflation will always exist in a system where money can be created without limits. You cannot stop it, but you can adapt. Do not keep all your wealth in cash. Cash loses value. Assets grow. That is why the wealthy own real estate, stocks, or gold. Learn from history. In Germany after the First World War, those who held gold or foreign currency preserved their wealth. In Venezuela, families who exchanged savings into United States dollars before the crisis endured far better than those who did not. Invest in yourself. Skills, education, and businesses can outpace inflation. Unlike money, knowledge never loses value. And here is the million-dollar question. Will inflation get worse in the coming decades? Or will new systems, such as digital currencies, change the game entirely? Inflation is like gravity, invisible, constant, and always pulling at you. You cannot avoid it, but you can learn to move with it. Yes, governments and the wealthy often benefit, while ordinary people feel the squeeze. But with awareness and smarter choices, you do not have to remain a victim of the system. Remember this: holding cash makes you poorer every year, but holding assets, skills, and perspective can make you richer. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you feel the effects of inflation in your daily life? Maybe when shopping for groceries or when paying rent? Share your story in the comments below. If you learned something new today, tap the like button. It truly helps this channel grow. And do not forget to subscribe so you never miss the next big idea explained in simple language. And if you want to go even deeper into this subject, watch my other video on the hidden tax you never knew you were paying. I will link it right here.